Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept, and the journey continues today, April 3rd, 2021, at approximately 5:50 a.m. PST. Now, I was talking to you yesterday and mentioned that one of the first goals I was looking at immediately was to clear this table behind me. As you can see, aside from my pad that I've got for where the heck is it? I keep doing that. Aside from this neat little notepad that I've talked to you about before, which has my list and my starting list of what I'm working on today, it's empty. Okay. Now it's a case of reorganizing the rest of it and just changing the layout so I know exactly what I'm up to. One step at a time. Remember, the only person that can be successful in this world for you is you. Okay, and it does take a lot of effort, depending on how old you are and what you've been through. You can't do a thing to change the past. Okay, I've been asked a lot, quite often, about the concept of time travel. Now, some people talk about it being possible. From my understanding of it, yes, you can move forward in time. That is done in a couple of fashions, but the big issue is it can be done. Problem is that you cannot return because you cannot travel backwards in time. And like the way it was put one day, it was put one day to me. When you travel back in time, that new back in time becomes the present. Okay, you change something back there, it won't change a thing about what you've done, but it will change your present. Now, it's not everybody else's present. One of these days, I'm going to have to take the time to draw it out on paper to show you exactly what I'm referring to, which is not a bad idea. So I think what we'll do is this. Take this neat little notepad and pen. There we go. And we just make a note for ourselves to make sure we do that. Okay, now this is a live recording, meaning that I do not go back and edit anything. Okay, that's what I mean by live. So if I make a mistake, if I stumble, and I do both many times, that's what you're going to see. Okay, people have talked to me about changing, about going under a different name, under a pseudonym, if you will. Because, well, the only reason I can see going under a pseudonym is if you don't want to end up like if you're doing your best to hide what you're thinking. Now, where it comes to writing, where it comes to doing music, operating under a pseudonym avoids the public eye. Okay, but you're talking about a different world. Okay, where it comes to what I'm doing, if you meet me on the street, I'm the exact same way. Okay, I just don't hide who I am. Okay, and I mean, there's a lot of, excuse me, there's a lot of evidence that indicates there wouldn't be any point to it anyway. The way I figure it, the people that want to know who I am or want to know where I am already know. Okay, but the issue here, from my standpoint, is pretty simple. Okay, I'm making a note for myself to do a video on to show the pictographical explanation, pictographic information on how I understand time travel. Because, and we go back to what we were talking about, where it comes to your life, you cannot expect, you can expect what you will, but the only person that can change your life for what you consider the better is you. You can get all the information from everybody. You can get all the information that you desire from anybody on how to go about it, but you're the one that's going to have to do the work. It's much like going to school. You desire to learn to write, you go to school, somebody shows you how to write, and then you turn around and you practice, you do the work, and you get back to writing. Now, to that end, okay, now that I'm getting the office sorted out, That's one of the other little goals I'm going to have. I used to be able to work with a pen with my left hand and my right hand equally. My left hand after the stroke kind of shut down, so I don't have the reaction time. I don't have the physical dexterity for it right now. But you'll notice I said right now. So, you get an idea in your head of where you desire things to change for you. You're the one that's going to have to change them. Now, as you can tell, the table is now clear. The brown shelf that used to be there is gone. Currently, it's actually sitting in the hallway because it's waiting to see if somebody else I know wants the thing. And if they don't, then it will end up going out anyway. It's not exactly in the greatest of shape, but I'm in the middle of renovating my entire life. Thanks very much to you guys, I got the motivation up, and starting on March 6th of this year, I've been on the video every day, taking a look at what the steps I've gone through to get my life sorted around. Hopefully they will work for you as well. Okay, so how about we give everybody give themselves a thumbs up, and we'd love to see one on the video. Okay, because it doesn't matter if you're just watching this video to see where it goes, or if you're looking for a way to change where your life is. Either way, you've taken the time to sit down and watch the video, so thank you very much for that. As with everything, in society, people talk about what's going on. Now, if what I'm telling you can help just one person, okay, well, I guess it is helping one person. Okay, it's helping me. Now, that probably sounds a little egocentric, but so be it. Can't do much about what it sounds like. All I can do and all you can do is you can control how you feel about what you're doing, not how other people feel about it. Okay, so just a simple guideline. If you can stand up and proudly go, I did this, okay, then absolutely carry on. However, if you're trying to hide it from what other people are knowing, okay, well, from what other people know, especially if you're trying to do something that is against the law or is deliberately hurting other people, okay, if you can't stand up and say, I did that, it's likely best if you don't do it. Just think things through and don't do it in the first place. Okay, now, I have made a commitment to myself to change my life completely, to get rid of the stuff that I no longer have a desire for. I told people a long time ago, okay, I didn't ask for my life to go the way it did. The reality is it was my own choices that led to that. Okay, and I'm the only one that can really do anything about it, but it has taken, well, in my case, just shy of 58 years to figure out I'm the one that has control over how to do it. Okay, I'm the one that has control over whether I stay that way. Now, I cannot, and you cannot, change the way that my life went to start with. There are many things I've done in the past, from my childhood all the way up to my adult years. There are many things I am disappointed in myself for. Regret, yeah, I suspect that's a good word for it. Okay, are the things I'm sorry I did, sorry things I did to other people, that I did to myself for that matter, that I am very disappointed in me, very regretful I did, yes, absolutely. Am I going to go into them? No. I'm going to go into this. Whatever led to this point in life, this is where you start. All the regrets in the world, all the self-beating in the world, in other words, you can bang your head against the wall, you can sit there and go, I'm such a bad person, I did such terrible things. You can do that. That is your choice. I could do that. And I made the choice not to go there. So now I'm going after something that I said a long time ago. I desire the best of the best in my world. Therefore, the best of the best to me, mind you, not the best of the best to you. Therefore, I am renovating everything. I'm getting rid of the stuff I don't desire. I'm changing the thought processes, and I'm getting things sorted around. But this is going to take a lot of work. I can do one of two things. Okay, I can turn around and I can stay in the path I'm in and complain that that's where I am, or I can make the decision to go, I'm changing it. To that end, I've decided I'm going to change it. Now, if you think about it, try this one. Okay, when it comes to the past, if you don't let go of the past, this does not mean let go of the memories, but it means quit dwelling on it. Okay, and this one's easy for anybody. Okay, whether you're in a wheelchair, whether you're walking, whether you're able to run, if you're a marathon runner. Lord, I wish I had that kind of stamina. Unfortunately, all the stamina in the world won't matter considering I've got a bad leg and I'm usually on a cane. Okay, am I working on bypassing it? Well, I don't use it as often as I could. But try this. You want to move forward. Now, if you're walking or a wheelchair, it won't matter. Okay, try this. If you're walking, you're standing there ready to walk. Pick your right foot up, move it forward. That's the first step. You're moving into the future. Now, you want to move further. You want to move forward further. Try moving again without moving that left foot. Try moving. Now you've already moved the right foot forward. So try moving forward without moving the left foot, without letting go of the past and moving forward. Sure, you'll get a little further down the road while you're still hanging on, but eventually you're going to run out of room. You're only going to be able to move forward so far, and then you're stuck. Okay, if where it comes to walking, okay, you can move forward, but here's what happens. Pretend your foot's nailed to the floor, and you'll notice I said pretend. Stick the foot to the floor. Okay. Now, don't move that and try and move forward. What you'll find is the only thing you'll do is go around in circles. It's like if you're stuck in a wheelchair. Okay. Hold the one wheel really tight with your left hand. Now try and go forward with the right. You'll sit there and go around in circles. You won't make much headway. You have to let go of the past in order to move forward. Now, I've gone through a whole lot of a mess. So, what I did was first and foremost, I've got a sign over there that says, I am worth it. Because in all fairness, if I'm not worth it for me, it's going to be hard to understand why why I would be worth it to anybody else. Up on that wall, I have a sign regarding finance. I have legally attained a minimum of $2,000 per month. Correction, I have legally attained a minimum of $2,000 by April 30th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. Okay, now I can tell you right now, March's goal of that I made. Now comes the catch of, do I make it again in April? Because this is where I start moving forward completely. I've got all my past paid off. Now it's time to move forward. Because I run a home-based business, I also have another sign up there. Okay, my home-based business is Inner Voice Enterprises. And I have another sign up there that says, Inner Voice Enterprises has legally generated a minimum of $200 per month. Inner Voice Enterprises has legally generated $200 by April 30th, 2021, 11:59 p.m. The $200 is because where it comes to my income, I run home-based business, and the way it was explained to me and the way that the tax in Canada here operates, and I rely on the tax people just like you do, I hope. But they have said that that it takes roughly 10% of whatever I'm doing, 10% of my house is being occupied by my business. Therefore, 10% of the income has to come from the business or the business isn't working. Okay. So again, last month I made that point. It remains to be seen if I make that point this month. But with that in mind, I am looking at a very simple issue. Those are both markers that I made for myself. Okay, both of which I've attained. Now, if you're going to do something, if you're going to change your life, and you desire to go down a certain path, talk to somebody that's done it, that has done it successfully. If your idea of success is becoming a millionaire, give me a few years, I might be able to help you. But right now, I'm not the one that tells you how to be a millionaire. Okay, talk to a millionaire. Ask them how they did it. Okay, now, I'm a firm believer that you should definitely talk to your parents, talk to your grandparents, talk to your siblings. They're the ones that have got where they are. Absolutely, they are the ones that have got where they are, but unless they are millionaires, they will not be able to tell you how to get there. Now, of course, the unfortunate part I found with a lot of people that have successfully attained certain levels is they refuse to tell people how to get there. Okay, I don't know what it is in all fairness. From my standpoint, your being successful is not going to affect whether I feel successful. Well, in all fairness, it actually will, but it won't hold me back from becoming any more successful. Okay, in my eyes. If I can help one person by going down this road, by explaining to people what I've gone through, and that can light the way so they can find a way, so they can see that they've managed to make headway, then frankly, I've done my job well. Now, do understand, that's my job, that is a self-appointed job. The reason I keep taking these off is because I don't like them. Now, the reality is, it used to be a case, you see how close my glasses are? Okay, it used to be a case where my eyes were so bad, I couldn't see my glasses at that sight, at that distance. I couldn't physically see them. I know they were there because I could feel them in my hand, but I couldn't see them. Now, I can see them over there. In all fairness, according to the eye doctor, I've got 20/20 eyesight for reading, and that was done with no surgery, with no special diet, no extra medication. That was simply done by exercise. I found a neat little way I found the information I required by somebody that had the information, and I put the tools to use. Now understand, the best tools in the world are absolutely useless if they are not picked up. Okay, the best carpenter, you can give them the state-of-the-art tools. If the carpenter never picks them up off the table, they are not going to do a bit of good. I like the way it was put by one mentor I had, where he said, the best psychic on the planet is useless if nobody knows they're there. Okay, now I spent my life hiding from the world. Actually, in all fairness, I didn't. I spent my life trying to hide from me. And you'll notice I said try. I didn't succeed. Okay, I thought when I was growing up that people had ostracized me. The reality was, and I found this out much later through a different method, but the reality was they didn't ostracize me so much as I pushed them away and held them at bay so that I didn't have to deal with it. Okay, self-esteem was not my strong suit when I was a kid. In all fairness, it's not exactly my strongest suit right now. It's just I've gotten to a point where I've gone, okay, I have a choice. I can keep doing that. I can keep that belief and keep reenacting that mess, or I can change what I'm doing. Now, it is directly because of you people, because of the encouragement that I've had from people around me. Most of them people I've never seen before. Most of them I never will see. Okay, but it's because of your encouragement to get in front of the video and start telling people this is what we deal with. Now get this. We have a world that is an absolute disaster right now. There's war all over the place. There's famine all over the place. There's corruption all over the place. I haven't seen this kind of corruption and greed since Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, but if we work together, if we choose to work together, Okay, just by changing the individual in person, by changing your life and the way your life is going and eliminating the things you're not content with, given that they follow karmic law. Be true to yourself, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. If we do that, if every single person does that, because everyone, every individual in existence has the same power, they have the same worth, not financially. Okay, and there has to be a balance of people that have more physical stuff and more and less physical stuff, more spiritual awareness, less spiritual awareness. It takes all kinds to make a balanced universe. Okay, the name of the game is balance. Now, we can go into a whole lot of things on that end, but if we work together to help each other realize our best potential, then we can take this world from the shall we say complicated mess that it is, and we can straighten it out. We can make it paradise for everybody. Okay, it really does boil down to an issue of on your own, you're not going to necessarily have a real big impact on anybody. It will absolutely help. But think of it this way. One person dropping an empty coffee cup on the ground. One person, you've got one cup, not a big issue. Take 100,000, or for that matter, take 100 people, and each of them drops an empty coffee cup on the ground. You've got a pile. Okay. And again, even with that, if it is organized, it doesn't look as bad. Now, I'm not suggesting going down to the dump and going, oh, let's move everything around. Not suggesting that in the slightest. Okay, but if we work together, put aside the differences, understand everybody has to be different. Okay, every single one of you is a unique and very special, very worthwhile individual. Okay, no matter what anybody tells you, the critical factor is whether you believe you are unique, you are special. Okay, now, I am not perfect by any means. I have never been perfect to the best of my knowledge. Well, that's not entirely correct, but we have to go way back into past lives to get there. Okay, when I started, the moment I started, I was perfect. I am perfect for me. I am not content with me, but that's why I'm changing things. Take a look in the mirror and go, okay, that's who you are right this minute. If you're content with that, if you're content with your life, that is absolutely fantastic. Okay. If, however, you're looking at your life going, what have I accomplished? What have I done that I'm content with? Or more to the point, what am I in the middle of that I'm not content with? Far easier to understand what you don't like. Now, when I was growing up, I was told much the same as most of you. You have to have your life, you've got to have a plan in place before you get to be 20 years old. The reality is, what I've seen, my experience is that the people that I talk to, the majority of them are 45 to 50. They're in their late 40s, early 50s by the time they figure out what they desire to do. In my case, I'll be 58 in a couple of months. Well, that assumes that we include April as a full month. Okay, but the middle of next month, I turn 58. I finally figured out not only what I desire to do, but how to take the third step to get there. Okay, I have figured out how to become debt free. I figured out how to do it, and I was working towards it, and then I got a gift and a disappointment at the same time. My parents passed, and I ended up with an inheritance. Well, I am very pleased to say that I took over 50% of that inheritance, and I buried it in investments and what have you for the future, while helping other people. The other 50% went to getting myself debt free in a hurry. went to getting things on track so I'm content. Okay, so I can look in the mirror, I can get up in the mirror and go, I am now at a place where I'm happy. As one person puts it, I should do my best to look at that as a big win. Okay, and I'm starting to figure that out. Okay, I'm still having trouble with it because I'm still struggling with a lot of things. But I did it from that same person. Okay, they had a stroke, I had a stroke. Okay, they had one earlier than I did. But the way they called it was that was a stroke of luck for them. In my case, I came to see it very quickly as a stroke of good fortune. Now, yes, when I had the stroke, it shut down my ability to walk, it shut down my ability to talk, and it mucked up my left hand. Okay, but it also got me thinking, I'm not content with this. This is an immediate, I'm not happy. I've got to do something about it. Well, it took me 2 days, way too fast for the doctors to cope with, to get my ability to speak back and my ability to walk. Okay, my left arm is taking a little bit more, but here's the funny thing with that. The ability to speak and the ability to walk was a critical import for me. At that point, it was absolutely crucial I get both. I wasn't staying in the hospital, I just was not interested. So I had massive motivation. Now, all I've got for motivation is right here. And the fact that I am determined that I'm going to get everything that I'm aiming for. Okay, without walking on people to do it, without coercing people into giving me their stuff. Okay, I'm going to make the changes that I have to. And in the process of doing that, I'm going to offer you the same tools and a walk through my life to see how that all changes. Okay, now we keep these down to the half-hour mark for a lot of reasons. But give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel to get the rest of the information, to find the path that I'm using, and hopefully gain some insight into a path that you can personally use to get ahead. To change your life from what you're going through to what you'd like to be going through. Okay, at the bottom of the videos, you'll find a list of different publications that I've put in, that I've written together, that I've published, that you can order only through me at this point. Okay, but that list of contact points, if you go to the bottom of the video, you'll find a list of contact points on YouTube here, email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and I'm looking into a couple others. It has become very apparent that this is a message that has to get out to the entire world. Okay, to everybody. Now, it's going to be fun trying to get to the people in the outback that have no technology, because I don't travel well, at least not without a guide. But I will talk to you again tomorrow morning. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.